What up, y'all? This is High Definition Pod. This podcast that is. I'm Maurice.
And I'm Therese.
And we are back for another episode. And it has been a minute since we have recorded last.
It has been a minute.
What's been going on, bro?
What was happening last time? Was I selling my house at the time? Selling my house. Anybody want to buy a house? We reduced the price.
Y'all were. I think last time we recorded, it had just got on the market.
Oh, it's on. Oh yeah. So my house has been on the market for about 3 weeks now. So if you're looking for a house in the beautiful Bowling Springs area, technically it's Spartanburg, give them the zip code. But if you're looking for a nice 3-bedroom, 2-bath, hit me up.
Throw a little plug in there.
Hit me up. Shameless plug. Come by my house. Somebody, please.
Hey, it is. A lot of people are moving to the south.
Hey, Target is coming. We got the Publix coming. Bowling Springs is blowing up. Yeah, I know it get a little gridlock sometimes, but it's okay.
If any of our South Carolina legislature is watching this episode, can y'all please address these roads?
Please. And the intersection between Highway 9 where it splits to Paris Bridge Road, there needs to be a turn signal light right there at the light.
Yes.
Right there in front of the Bojangles. Like, there needs to be a turn light right there because I'm going to tell you now, traffic around 5 o'clock is crap.
Horrible.
Right there by the Spinks, it's terrible. It's like literally Russian roulette trying to make it across the road. You know what I'm saying? And I got kids. I can't be risking their lives like that. So I have to go all the way down and just take the back road all the way home.
Doing rush hour, doing morning school traffic and rush hour.
It's terrible.
Yeah, all back roads.
It's terrible.
So I just don't leave until all that calm down.
That's true too. But somebody buy my house.
Please
fix these roads. What about you? What's going on with you, bro?
Still dealing with just life in general.
Understood.
Had a chance to go down to Miami.
Hey,
that was fun.
Turn up.
That was fun.
Turn up.
I done the working capacity, but we did get
Florida might be the move.
But we got an extra day. Listen, my brother, I ain't gonna lie. My wife want to move near some water. My only issue is I don't want to deal with the hurricanes.
I don't want to deal with the hurricanes either.
But every time I go down to Florida, I wouldn't mind. I would not mind moving down there for real.
Say less.
It was fun.
Orlando was nice. Like,
we went every time we go to Orlando, we have a good time.
It was nice. So you get the Universal. You got what else is in Orlando?
All Disney parks.
The Disney parks there. So I mean, it's a lot of it's there for now, but
they are not going anywhere.
They ain't going nowhere. They ain't going. Okay, bet
you don't have to pay. There's no
state tax.
No state tax.
Yeah.
It's still people are still gonna come to Disney.
Exactly.
For those y'all that got an issue with what the governor did down there, you should have told Disney stay out of parents being involved with their kids.
These are facts.
I mean, when it comes down to it, that's the only problem.
If they ain't the seeds of your loins, stay out of it.
Stay out of it,
please. Okay, stay out of it.
The governor down there, he came out. He said, "You can disagree with the bill all you want, but when you try to come and say you're going to repeal it, and what we're doing is for the benefit of Floridians and parents, and doing what they deem best for their children."
Yes,
I don't have an issue with what he said because, like my brother just said, y'all didn't lay down to make them kids.
Half y'all that did lay down don't take care of them. But anyway, what are we talking about?
On that note, before we, y'all know this platform is all about having conversation. Our conversation that we try to engage in cultural conversations from a biblical perspective. You can agree with us or you can disagree with us. Either one is fine with us. The only thing we do not tolerate, not one bit, is your disrespect.
That will get you sent to the block party.
I mean, a VIP invitation to the block party. All right. So, agree, disagree. Let us know. There's a link tree in the description, either on audio or on the video on YouTube. So, all everywhere you can contact us, you can find in that link tree. So please, y'all hit us up.
Yep, please do.
Leave us a 5-star review on Apple, Google, wherever you listen to the audio.
It ain't gotta be a 5-star. If you want to leave a 1-star, just put in there why you rated a 1 star.
Y'all just let us know. So yeah, with that being said, we are continuing our conversations on these good old 10 commandments. It's only 10.
It's only 10.
So just kind of and the reason we're going into this, we're having this conversation is basically we want to know, kind of review it, kind of dive into it again, but also what would happen if our society was to just abide by these 10 commandments, or as the Jews, they kind of call them like 10 sayings or 10 statements. We said in a previous episode, but the ancient Jews, even those who are Orthodox Jews today, they live by the whole law of Moses, the Mosaic law. Is like 613 laws they had to live, and they have to live by.
Right.
But these 10 commandments are the foundation of those 613 laws.
Right.
So if we can at least get these 10 down, how would they impact our society? Just kind of going back over, I think, I'm just going off, the first one was, thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Right.
What's in your life that you placing before God?
What are you?
Is it your job? Is it your marriage? Is it your children? Are you trying to have your hot girl summer? You putting that before God? Did you just cut your eyes over at me? Whatever it is it you grinding, you trying to make things happen? That could be a God that you're putting before Him. So, I don't think the second one was what you should have no graven image.
No graven images.
So, that they could go like it's like 1A and 1B if you had, to me, but that's number 2. So no graven image. Are you what you got? Is it something kind of man-made or something you giving your worship to? That's your affection to? What's the third one was? Don't take the Lord's name in vain. And one of the things we established on that episode, we come to find out, not so much as the GD that we're accustomed to, which we shouldn't be doing that anyway. But research and researching that, we find out that it's actually referring to us. Are we doing evil in the Lord's name?
Ooh.
So when we go back and we look at people who are like the jihadists, the extreme Muslims, so to speak, not trying to start anything or be disrespectful, but for those who take that faith and take it to the extreme and want to go out and kill people, they believe they're doing it in the name of the Lord. But do we really think that the Lord wants us to blatantly go out here and just murder people for?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that, because one of the commandments we're going to cover today actually talked about that.
That's if we get to it.
If we get to it. That's if we get to it, because we understand. We can go on and on about these things.
And one of these commandments is one that my dear brother.
Yes. I've been waiting on this one.
Yeah, he's been waiting on this one.
Waiting on this one.
And then before we get to that one too, one of the other ones we established was remember the Sabbath.
Yes.
Take your rest. Jesus rested. We even found out that one of the practical things about the Sabbath, like every 7 years, the land rested. Every 7 days, everybody rested. The animals rested. The land rested. But every 7 years, they took a whole year off. Come to find out, just as a practical way, like when all the fruit falls and the vegetables, all that stuff falls off the trees and stuff, come to find out, all that, no pesticides, none of that, it's all organic. So that's replenishing the soil. So when they go back to farming and doing their agriculture, they yield that many more crops. So same thing for us. When we take our rest, when we take breaks, we're able to get replenished, and we're able to give our best for our families, to our jobs, to our businesses, and that sort of thing. So it's good for you to take a Sabbath. It's good for you to take a rest. It's not good for you to just be working. No. You have to take breaks. You have to take rest.
The Lord rested.
Yeah. And none of us more important than him.
Facts.
So, the fifth commandment.
The fifth commandment.
Honor your parents.
Honor your mother, your father and mother. Sorry. Honor your father and mother so that you may live long in the land the Lord your God has given you.
Ooh. Sorry, y'all. Camera want to do a little something funky.
That's all good. It's all good.
All right, so if we go to the New Testament, we understand that Ephesians 6, Paul said that honor your mother and father, or your mother and father. Lord, why am I getting tongue-tied?
It's all good.
Honor your mother and your father in the Lord, for this is right, and this is the first commandment with a promise.
Right.
So out of all these commandments we went through,
this is the one that gives a promise.
This is the first one.
The first one that gives a promise. And that promise is that you will live.
That you will live long
in the land that the Lord your God has given you.
That says a lot.
That says a lot.
I have actually seen this happen. I've seen how dishonoring of a parent or parents has yielded a person to have a bad life.
Yes.
It has yielded them to, I personally believe that they died before their time. I won't say how I know this person, but I personally have seen this to be true. Number one, I think we have to establish. Tell me if you agree with this, disagree, you want to add, take away. I'm of the belief that parents, God, number one, we all belong to God.
Right.
Let's establish that.
Yep.
He's our creator.
Yep.
He created us. He formed us. But I believe he births us through our parents, whether they're married or unmarried, however it was you were conceived. It was God's intention for you to get to this earth through those two individuals.
Right.
And I believe that, number one, I believe in his design, he wants us to come through the avenue of a married couple.
Yes.
As he deems a marriage to be between one man and one woman.
Right.
In a marriage covenant.
Right.
That when that man and that woman come together as husband and wife, and that when they come together through sex and they end up procreating and reproducing, I believe that is the vein that God wants us, that he is intending us to come through.
Right.
But we also know that because of Adam and Eve and the fall in the garden, sin entered into the world. Of course, when we all know, just looking at today, single parent homes are well over 70%.
Very much so.
So we already know people come into the world not within marriage.
Right.
Okay. So we know that. But we do understand that his intent is for children to be born through a husband and a wife in a marriage covenant.
Yep.
So I'm of the belief that our parents are our first examples of authority. They are our first examples of they're going to show us how to approach the world.
Right.
They're going to be our examples of what we need to grow to be like.
Right.
That is what I personally believe.
They're a source of, parents are supposed to be a source of wisdom.
Yes.
A source of discipline.
Yep.
They literally are like shepherds and we're sheep. I mean, how God leads us through by way of Jesus Christ is how our parents are supposed to take the same stance. Where when a sheep gets out of line,
the shepherd staff.
The shepherd
they gotta pulls
him back in. Sometimes they hit him.
Yep. The rod.
It's in the Bible as well. I have it wrote down.
Psalm 23.
Yeah.
Thy rod and thy staff.
So our parents are supposed to be a shepherd or shepherds to us to keep us in line, to follow the way of the word of God. But also they're supposed to, one, be an example of it.
Supposed to be
An example of it, because like the Bible says, you train up your children in the way that they should go, so when they get older they don't depart from it. No. They don't depart from it. And I mean, that's basically the gist of what a parent is. So going back to the years upon the earth thing. So I had a revelation. I was cooking one day. It was on a Wednesday or something. I was cooking. I was in the kitchen. I was cooking some pasta, or whatnot. And growing up, you grow up in a Baptist church. Your parents always love to use that. Honor your mother and father, so your days will be long upon the earth.
That's the first scripture I had to learn.
The first one. If you grew up in a church and your parents was heavy in church, that's the first one they're going to make you learn. They're going to make sure they instill that in you.
Yeah.
And so my thought process growing up was always that, well, if I dishonor my parents, God's going to take years from me. When I was sitting there cooking, God dropped something on me. He was like, it's not necessarily that I'm going to take years from you. It's that when you don't listen to the wisdom of your parents, you put yourself in positions that could potentially take years off your life.
Facts.
And I was like, huh? I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
So let's look at it from a standpoint. If my parents tell me, oh, hey, Therese, it's not good that you join a gang. Right? So we know what gang activity is. We see it throughout television, movies, and all that stuff. We see the downfall of gang activity. And so if I like, my parents are like, Therese, you come from a good home, you shouldn't join the gang, this and that. And I'm like, man, I do whatever I want to do and I go join the gang. But let's say I put myself in a position where there's a shootout or something like that, and I catch a bullet. Now let's just say that I don't die, but I'm in a lot of pain. I'm in the hospital. I put myself in a position where I could have potentially been killed.
Yep.
Or let's look on the flashlight. I catch a bullet in the wrong place and it kills me. Let's say you're 14. 14 years old, you catch a bullet, you die. You put yourself in a position that ended your life way before God intended it.
Yep.
Let's something a little lighter. Eating the wrong foods.
Okay.
Something as simple as that. Like, oh, Therese, you shouldn't eat that. You have a shellfish allergy. Man, I'm eat this. I'm eat this shrimp right here. Anaphylaxis. Can't breathe.
Or you always want to eat. We're talking from a parent to a child. Kids always want to eat.
They want to eat.
Yeah, they want to get the candy.
They do.
Or when they out, like, no, you need to eat some real food.
Right.
Because this is not beneficial for you.
That's right.
Like, case in point, we're trying to. So both of our kids, they in athletics, lifting weights, doing all this. They will snack all day. Chips, all this.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, y'all lifting all these weights.
Eat some carbohydrates.
You need
protein.
All that. You
carbohydrates.
Need food.
Yes. Sustenance.
Because your body's needing that fuel now. Because you're doing all this working out. Y'all moving all the time. You got to have this. Okay.
You want to drink sodas all day. You're not drinking no water.
Didn't want to listen. I think one of them can't. I ain't gonna say which one. One of them, I mean, body just hurting. I mean, weak. I said, "What you ate today?" Oh, I just had some chips. And I said, "Did you have any food at all?"
Food.
No.
Something that your body could burn off and work.
What has me and your mama been telling you?
I know exactly who that was.
I said, okay, so you gonna start listening now, ain't you? Yes, sir. I said, okay.
Yeah.
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 So But yeah, I definitely agree that when you don't, I fully agree with what you're saying. Like when you don't take heed to, I hope those of y'all that's out here listening and watching, I hope this is one episode that your children are listening to or that you would encourage them to listen to. I would definitely say I fully agree with what Therese just said because I never thought I would be saying this, but literally almost the same things my parents told me. I'm telling my kids now.
Mm-hmm.
I've already been where you been.
Yeah.
The road you walking down, I already walked down this road.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, this is not the route you want to go.
Right.
Your friends you hanging around, you keep hanging around them, they gonna lead you down this path because I done seen this happen.
Yeah. Like our parents are, like I said, are supposed to be wise, and so our parents should our parents can discern a lot better than we can when we're younger. All right, so your parents usually are, I would hope they're a good judge of character. Hope. But see, I've learned something too. You know, we look at the age demographic of parents nowadays. It's getting younger and younger. And the younger you are, the least wisdom comes with age.
Dude.
Wisdom comes with age, man. And how society is
going grandparents
right
are the grandparents are in their late 30s to early 40s. I'm
exactly.
like, wait a minute.
And that's something that
wait a minute.
God does not, he does not want that, because one, in a society that tells you do what thou wilt, God says, follow my commandments.
The grandparents try to be the club, just like
you know what I'm saying. So what we see is there's a lack of wisdom. There's a lack of wisdom that's as society progresses, we start to see that wisdom is lacking.
Big time.
Morals are lacking.
Big time.
So I mean, we see that we can look at these commandments, especially this one, and we can see how stuff is not really how morally deficient we are in our society.
So check this note out. So we already established this is the only commandment that gives a reason for observing it.
Exactly.
A society that's built on honor will last long, but the inverse of that is also true. So if a society is not built on honor,
it would
it'll end up starting to deteriorate.
Right.
Look at what we have going on today.
Talk to me.
We have the breakdown of the family.
We do.
Therefore, there's also a breakdown of honor from parent to child or child to parent.
All right.
And because we have that breakdown, look at how society is also deteriorating.
Exactly. It's a lack of discipline.
No discipline, no honor. There's the very moral fabric of our society is almost non-existent. We're like, where are the morals?
Whoever spares the rod hates their child, but the one who loves their children is careful to discipline them. So when we see that we don't have discipline for ourselves as parents, our kids are not going to have discipline. Do not withhold discipline from a child. If you punish them with the rod, they will not die. Now, caveat to that. A lot of people think of, oh, that's me whooping my child, hitting my child. No. It could be the rod of truth. Meaning I could have a discussion with my child. Now, granted, I am the father of two small boys. My oldest is 4. My youngest is 1. Now, Carter, since he is older, he kind of understands when I say don't do something, he understands it. So my correction for him is different than with Cameron.
Yep.
Cameron is 1. If I say, Cameron, don't do that, his little mind is not going to be able to process why I'm telling him not to do that. He's going to keep doing it until there is some type of implementation of a force of correction. Now, I'm not a swatter. I'm a thumper. I will thump that boy around that collarbone. Whoopsh. And usually it gets a reaction out of him. He freezes up. He's like, that it hurt. Now, I can see somebody on the other side of that screen going, oh, he thumped his child. It's a thump. I just thumped him. I just around his collarbone.
Oh. to the person that might say that or ask that.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, Therese and I do not advocate for child abuse.
We do not. We do not.
Let's go ahead and establish that first.
Let's do that.
Number two, I think we all can agree that the younger the child is, the more impressionable they are.
They are.
Hence, and I'm not trying to go into this, but hence, ask yourself this question. Why are we today trying to sexualize young children?
Because they're impressionable.
So, the younger a child is, the more impressionable they are. If we as parents want to, as the word says, train them up in the way that they should go, that training, there's going to have to be, there will be some type of pain involved in it.
There will.
So,
I got something for that too.
Just like when a coach is training his players for a game,
it's called conditioning.
The conditioning portion of practice is going to be probably the most painful that the child or that the player is going to have to endure.
Correct.
Why? Because when they get into the game, because they've already been through this conditioning, they're more prepared to endure the game and come out as a victor.
Facts.
Now, if me as a parent,
right,
if I have my young child, they're doing something that they're not supposed to do.
Right.
In order for them to process it in their mind, there's going to have to be some type of a pain connected to let them know, hey, when I do this, this bad thing happens to me.
Right.
If I do something right, this good thing happens to me.
Right.
I would rather them learn that from me instead of them going out, getting older, going out into the world or out into these streets and having because they do something wrong, they may have a law enforcement officer have to inflict pain on them that they don't want to have to endure.
Facts.
I would rather me as the parent, teach them the pains of life instead of them having to go out there and learn it from life itself. Which, if we're all honest, if you still living, you have had to endure the pain of life, regardless of what your parents taught you anyway. But because of what my parents did teach me, I'm able to endure this pain. That's the job of me as a parent.
Proverbs 29:15. A rod and reprimand impart wisdom, but a child left undisciplined disgraces his mother.
And what child? Me and you as men now, but we were boys when we were younger.
Right.
We always, of course, you want the respect of your father.
We do.
But who's the one parent you really didn't want to piss off?
Your mom.
Or you didn't want to really disappoint?
Your mother. Because mothers are more affectionate towards their children. So whenever you do something wrong, your mother is more likely to show sadness in her emotions than your father would. Now, your father would more show disappointment.
Oh, yeah.
Your mother would more she'd be disappointed, but that disappointment shows up as sadness.
Yeah.
So if I knew my mother really loved me and I loved my mom, I didn't want to disappoint her.
Right.
My father, on the other hand, I don't want to disappoint him, but it breaks your heart because that's the one who nursed you. Yep. You know, the more affectionate out of the two parents. You don't want to disappoint mom.
You never do.
You never want to do that, especially if you're a mama's boy. You don't want to do that.
You never do. So to the parent that's, and once again, we established it earlier, you can agree with us or you can disagree. Just leave the disrespect where it's at. But I think you have to really reconsider, do you want your child to learn pain that they're not ready for from another source? Or do you want them to be prepared for life by what you teach them?
So check it. So I'm not advocating for whooping a child or anything like that. But I know for me,
I believe in the bills.
I do as well. Now I'm not gonna sit here and well on a child. I think that what you have to do is when your child gets to a point where they understand, you have to explain. I'm a big proponent of, if I'm going to correct my child, I do it in the instant. The instant moment they do something they're not supposed to do, that enforcement happens right then.
Yeah.
Because one thing you don't want to do is you can create a broken child when you do this. Like say you're in a grocery store and a child touches something and breaks it. If you don't discipline them right now, a child's attention span is very minute.
Yep.
If you don't discipline that child in that moment and you put them in the car, you drive 20 minutes home, that child's thought process has completely changed. That action that he or she did in the grocery store is gone. So that child could be playing that video game on the phone or whatever, and then you get home and you just start hitting them. Whoa, like their mind isn't on the fact that they broke something 20 minutes ago. Their mind is on, I'm playing a video game. What did I do wrong?
Right.
So like discipline has to be in that moment that an act of happens. So the thing about discipline, without discipline, children develop behavioral patterns that make the most sense to them, and that's not good for anyone. Mm-hmm. Children raised without discipline bring disgrace to their parents. Their choices reveal that they never had consequences. And absence of consequences is truly a form of neglect.
Repeat that.
Which part? Both of them?
Yep.
Without discipline, children develop behavioral patterns that make the most sense to them, and that's not good for anyone. Children raised without discipline bring disgrace to their parents. Their choices reveal that they never had consequences. An absence of consequences is truly a form of neglect. So here's my thing. I explained this to somebody. When my parents whooped me, it taught me that there are painful consequences for my actions. Yep. Bad actions.
Right.
When I did something wrong, if they popped me or whatever the enforcement was, whether it be taking my video game from me or whatever, there was a painful consequence behind, like from my bad actions.
You ever had the whole TV took out your
Oh my gosh. Look, you ain't even gotta take TV. I can just put up a blocker. Can't even access the TV now. But see, the thing that I try to tell people is like now that I'm a grown up, and I understand that when I do something that I'm not supposed to do, there's a consequence behind it, a negative consequence behind it. Yep. So if I go into a candy store or a store in general and I steal something, I'm gonna get my butt locked up.
Yep.
Which could hurt me down the line because now, I got a record that could affect my job, that could affect my which could subsequently affect my employment, my income, my household. Painful consequences. Yep. So when someone like, you shouldn't hit your children. Now, Cameron, I'll pop his hand. Usually that or the thump gets her action out of him. I don't have to go any further than that. Mm-hmm. Thank God. But as the child gets older, it's more of a conversation piece that goes to that. And there's more so something that has to be a little more stern. Mm-hmm. Now, kids, when they get to a age where they completely understand what they are doing, you don't have to even have a physical enforcement. It could be, hey, I'm going to take this from you. I'm going to take this from you. I'm going to take this from you. You can sit in your room, rock back and forth all day long with no video game, no TV. But there has to be some type of discipline that is in place to keep a child in line. Because we have laws in place that say if I break this law, what happens? There's a discipline behind it, right? Yep. Exactly. There's a discipline no matter what age you are in society.
And see, I'm sorry, I'm a little old school. Mm-hmm. I still believe that to a certain age or to a certain degree, you as the parent you have to make the determination. Yeah. But I do believe a good built is still very much necessary.
That brings me to my next point. But go ahead.
But like you said, you as the parent, you're the one that's involved with your child. Mm-hmm. You're the one that has to know when you're the one has to
make that discernment.
Yeah. Carter and Cameron is Teresa's children.
They are my children. Yes.
I can't make that determination of when he need to whoop them here. That's not my kids are teenagers now, so
Yeah.
but like when they were younger, and we're basically a blended family. My children are not mine biologically, but when me and my wife was dating, I walked them a few times, but it wasn't, and she gave me the permission because it just got to that point. But that was something we worked out, and we were already engaged and stuff like that. But I remember one time she got our son, like he showed up right there. She had to get him,
and that's how it's supposed to be, right then and there.
I mean, and with the way he showed out about, it wasn't no wait till you get home. Nope.
Oh no.
No. I think the issue that we're seeing now with, if we look at some of the serial
The killers,
some of the mass shooters and killers,
I'm telling you,
the ones who are, if we sometimes from what I've seen, if you track back to some of their upbringing, it's like there was no discipline. There was something, it's like something was missing at the home.
right?
So, excuse me, we have to trace this stuff back, and it goes back to a lot of the issues that we have in society today. We can trace it back to
disruption of the family.
There's a disruption in the family breakdown. Somewhere in there is all messed up.
Even how the way society is going, where the cost of living going up and everything's inflated and everything like that. So parents are more, especially if you're a single parent, you have to take on more responsibility.
Yep.
Maybe two jobs to make ends meet. Therefore, there's no type of discipline being implemented with your children.
Yep.
Because one, the neighborhood's is raising your kids. Now, granted, it takes a village.
TV and social media.
That's it. That too. My thing is, I do truly believe that it does take a village, to raise children. Because I remember back in the day, if I'm showing my tail outside, the lady down the road, my mama gave her permission to. She said she saw me doing something.
Yep.
She grabbed me right then, whopped my behind, and then called my mama and let her know. So when I get back home, I'll get it again.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it, but
now we can't even tell your children just to sit down.
You can't even do that.
And y'all got issues.
Right. Or your kids acting up in school, teacher take their cell phone, they want to beat up the teacher.
Here go my issue though. Y'all know your kids is bad.
That's the problem. You know your kid's bad and you ain't doing nothing about it. But then y'all sit there and say, well, you make every excuse in the book up. My thing is this. Like I said, it goes back to our children not being brought up in dual family homes.
Yeah.
It goes back to discipline. And I know this is a touchy subject. But my thing is, we need to be disciplined with our sex lives. Let's keep it 100 here. Let's keep it 100. If you out here just throwing it out every which way, and then I'm just saying, a lot of times we put ourselves in positions where
if you ain't trying to raise no kids,
if you're not trying to raise no kids,
don't do the activity.
Don't do the activity or wrap it up. If abstinence ain't your thing,
Maurice, you can't say that.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Maurice,
Don't do
you
that.
can't say that.
Don't do that. If abstinence ain't your, let's keep it 100 here. If abstinence ain't your thing, wrap it up. Wrap it up. And I'm talking to the men here. I'm not talking to the women. I'm talking to the men here. Men, let's be responsible. I'm talking to the guy. I ain't even gonna address the women. I'm addressing the men. Be responsible. Be responsible.
We want the baby making activity,
but we don't want the responsibility.
The baby raising responsibility.
That's a problem.
And since we went there,
because I'm of the opinion that abortion is 99% preventable. I didn't want to go there, but I'm going there.
I think we've established.
It's actually 100% if everybody, just act accordingly.
Yeah, I think we've established where this platform kind of stands on that.
Yeah.
Children need to honor their parents.
Yep.
Here's to not honor parents makes your children adult peers. I I'm the parent. Mm-hmm. You're the child.
Draw that line early.
This is what we tell. This is what me and my wife tell our kids. We can be friendly, but we're not your friends.
That's facts.
And I think that's the issue that we have in society today. No. I'm still up here. You're down here. You're the child. I'm the parent and the adult. Now, as our children have gotten older, yes, we do. In our family discussions, we want to hear what they have to say. We're trying to teach them to speak up. You have a voice. You don't have to say on final decisions, but we do want to hear your input because that's teaching you. You need to learn how to speak up. So when it do come time for you to make decisions, you know how to say what needs to be said. But at the end of the day, this is our house. This is our rules, and you're gonna abide by them as long as you're under this roof.
That's facts.
And I think a lot of us, especially those of us who are millennials, we need to make sure we keep that how we were raised. I'm not saying all of it. I'm not saying all of it was, we know what we can tweak and what we can't, but some of that we need to keep that going strong. No, You're the child. You're not our friend. No, you're not gonna sit here and call me by my name.
Nope.
Now, of course, blended family, y'all work that out.
Yeah, y'all work that out. What you do in your household is what you do in your household. My dad never required me to call him dad. I call him Joe. His name is Roosevelt.
So I'm same thing with us in our household, but there is still a
respect.
There's a level of respect and I tell both of our kids. Now, I am a little more laid back than your mama. But y'all better not ever let me catch y'all popping off at your mama. Y'all gonna get the other side of me. Y'all know I'm laid back, but what you're not gonna do is disrespect your mama. That ain't going down in this house. Parents, you have to lay the law. You have to set the boundaries.
Right.
You said it, they gonna follow it. Because guess what? They don't work. Them shoes that they want, guess who paying for it?
You are.
The TV, the subscriptions, the clothes, all the food they want to go out and eat, guess who the one's paying for it? Them phones, guess who the one paying the bill?
You are.
And if they got to get to work, guess who the one got to take them?
You do.
Parent. That's what we need to do.
Parents.
Get out here and parent.
Look, I ain't saying, if you want a gentle parent, that work for you, by all means. And I don't work all the time.
What's that thing on IG? Gentle parents. That's for gentle kids.
These kids are Donnie from the Wild Thornberries out here. All right, they ain't nothing gentle about them. Trust me. But let's go back to even the wisdom part. So Proverbs 1:8-9. Listen, my son, to your father's instructions, and do not forsake your mother's teachings. They are a garland to grace your head and a chain to adorn your neck. So garland in biblical times was used as a show of prestige, honor. Normally, kings and high priests, they adorn themselves with garland,
right,
as a show of prestige and respect and all that stuff. So when we see they are a garland. Those instructions, that wisdom that we're giving is a garland to grace your head, which means it's a show of respect, prestige, honoring your parents. So that's what I looked at that and I was like, man, what is garland? What is that garland? Oh, garland, that's the stuff we use on Christmas and all that stuff like that. But what it was used for, and that's what it was used for. So it's in a chain around your neck. I mean, think about that. Going a little left here, but when Jay-Z, when he was signed artist, he used to give them a Rockefeller chain, right?
Yeah.
A chain that was a show of prestige. Yep. That hey, you're a part of an elite club here, Rock Nation. I'm gonna give you this chain. You with me now? You know what I'm saying? So it's like a show of honor. In the same sense, are the teachings of our parents and instructions of our parents, the wisdom that they give us, if we adhere to that, is a show of prestige and honor.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this too. Discipline children isn't easy. To do it wisely requires a lot of discernment, like we said, strategy and effort. But it's easier to discipline younger children who are developing than it is to try and fix problems that lack of discipline introduces.
Wow.
There was a saying, I can't remember who it was, but it's saying that it's easier to teach children while they're below your shoulders than it is when they're above.
Your uncle said that.
Yeah, he did say that, but it was a quote from somebody. I'm gonna find that quote and I'll put it in the comment section. But it's true. Why? Because children are like, but if I wait till my child gets here, one, that norm 9 times out of 10 means that one, he's developed some form of identity for himself.
And it's not to say that you still can't make an impression.
Right, true.
But the ideal thing is you want to get them. The younger you can get them, the better. And
this, like I said, it's a biblical thing about getting your children to honor you while they're younger, because you're instilling that. And we see how Satan operates nowadays, where we can tell these little kids, hey, do whatever you want, or you know where I'm going with this. You know where I'm going. But we see society. What we're doing is in society we're creating a form of anarchy.
Glad you said that. Honoring parents is the best answer to totalitarianism.
Oh, okay.
All totalitarian movements seek to break down the family dynamic by shifting allegiance from parents to the state.
Bazinga. There it is. I mean, we can see that in all forms like government now, where kids can make their own decisions as young as 3.
Do y'all know right now, the state of Washington, the governor just signed
on the West Coast
that if a child runs away and wants to transition to another sex or gender, the parent does not have to be informed.
Oh, wow. You see?
Even if I don't agree with what my child is doing,
right,
I still need to know.
I do.
Once again, that's my child.
Right.
That's not the state's child.
It's not.
And even though I don't agree with a whole lot that he's done, I still honor the president. But he made a statement a few weeks ago. He said, our children belong to all of us. It's around in that.
That's pretty much what he said. That was
no.
Not
no.
Wrongo.
No.
Wrongo. No.
No.
Like what? My child belongs to me and my wife. Not you. Not the state. Not the government. Me.
Sorry. No. And I hope every parent that listens to this, that's watching us, if you're watching the replay, whatever, your child is your child. They don't belong to the state. They don't belong to your school.
Stop letting
they're your responsibility.
Random people raise your children.
Check them phones.
Check them.
What they watching on TV, who these friends is, who you sitting in lunch with.
Facts.
What's going on?
Facts.
Parent, that's your child.
That's your responsibility. You are not prying. You are not prying. Like,
Andrew,
go ahead.
Y'all can say what y'all want about Andrew Tate. You can say what you want about him.
You can.
Do I agree with everything he has said or the way he said it?
No.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
But when I actually just sit back and I listen to some of his content, I'm like, you know what?
You know what I've learned? A lot of times we gotta start stepping back and leaving emotions to the side.
Got to,
because a lot of these people, they say things and we get emotionally charged, so we don't really understand what they're saying.
Y'all said the same thing about Kevin Samuels.
There you go. And oh my gosh,
but
a lot of stuff he said was biblical.
Facts.
Let's be honest. I don't know.
But Andrew Tate, he said something. He was like, if you want to go ahead and cut your balls off, do it. You can do you. He said that's you. He said I'm not anti none of this. None of that. He said my issue is don't try to force what you're doing onto my child. No, that's my child.
That's my child.
I fully agree with what he just said. He said that's my child. Don't be trying to force your stuff on me. You're the one that want to make the decision to go out here, have sex with who you want to have sex with, and you can't procreate. That's on you. That's cool. Do what you do. Me and Therese don't have a heaven or hell to put you in. No judgment from me. But my issue is going to come in when you try to force what you believe on my child. Nope. Right. That's where I draw the line.
Yeah.
I teach my children to treat everyone with respect and dignity because that's what all human beings deserve, and they should have.
Do we see how Satan has weaponized the public school system?
A podcast I listen to calls right now the public school system is Satan's youth ministry.
Just saying, if some of the curriculum, know what your kids are.
Go to the school board meetings.
Go to them. If there's something you don't agree with, you have the right as a parent to speak up. You have the right as a parent to speak up. I think that if my child's at a school, if you even want to watch a movie, you let me know ahead of time what movie it is. Let me screen it, and let me decide if my child should be able to watch that or not. Because they're like, I know a lot of movies, Disney movies, there's a lot of subliminal things and stuff like that.
A whole lot.
Like if there's something that I just don't feel comfortable with, I should have I should have the wherewithal to be able to opt my child out of viewing that.
Yep.
My child might not like it, but I am the parent.
Right now, the state of South Carolina, which is where we reside, is basically copying what Florida did with the Parental Rights and Education Bill.
Right.
I think it's going to come up in the next legislative session. Basically giving more rights to the parents.
Which we should. Technically all rights should be.
Exactly. There's a lot of people that have an issue with this. Why?
Why do we have an issue? What doctrine are you agreeing with? What agenda are you agreeing with? Like, I ask these questions because, one, if I laid down and made my two sons with my wife, me and my wife should make the decisions about things concerning my children.
Exactly.
Not the state, not my governor, not my senators, not my congressional people, none of that.
None of y'all.
The last name on that birth certificate is Williams. And the person that signed that birth certificate is Therese, Keith Williams, and Candace Basell Williams. Not, what's our government name? McMaster. Not McMaster. Not Tim Scott.
Nope.
Not Josh Kimbrell.
Definitely not Lindsey Graham.
Not Lindsey Graham. Not Nikki Haley. Not none of them.
None of them.
Not the doctor that pulled him out of the womb.
Nope.
Nobody should have the wherewithal to impede on my parental rights.
If you really want to see a battle, you start messing with people and their kids.
First off, we need to be paying attention to what's going on. And we've gone over this several times on past episodes. Know what is going on in your child's school. You need to have a Bible in one hand and a newspaper in the other hand. Because a lot of what we saying
is going on
right now. And it's in the Bible.
I just seen a video on Instagram today. They had a drag queen giving a lap dance to a 10th grader.
A 10th grader.
My son is in the 10th grade. Do you not know I would?
Bruh. Yep. Look.
Those y'all know me. I'm pretty laid back.
Look.
I'm a laid back cat. But my son come and tell me that.
I'm put it like this.
It's over.
Like this. I would gladly, my mugshot would be beautiful. My mugshot will be beautiful. I will have the biggest smile on my face, but I'm gonna let you know.
Let me tell you what y'all not gonna be doing.
I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna let you know. I got nothing against drag queens, but nope.
Do that over there.
Over there.
Don't come over here in front of my kids.
And like that, like if a school wants to have drag queen story time, I'm put it like this. There should be a letter that goes out to the parents that say, "Hey, this is what we plan on having. Do you consent? Do you consent?" If I say no, my child does not have to be a part of that.
Excuse me, but I might just say, hell no.
I definitely gonna say that. I wasn't gonna say that on here, but I was, in my head, I was thinking it.
I got you. I get in trouble for it. I got you.
But no, but my thing is we can see these 10 commandments and how we break them, how we just broke all this stuff down. We see the stuff that's going on in our society today. And we, church.
Oh, bro.
Go ahead.
Why is the church not saying stuff about this? In particular, I love us, but I have not heard the black church say a whole lot about this. Period. Since that's the word today, period. Period I, period A, whatever, however they say it. Why has the black church not said a lot about this?
Well, see, that's the problem. See, there's a thing as a black church and as a white church. We're too divided within ourselves. There was one body of Christ. Doesn't matter if I'm Asian, Mexican, Colombian. Don't matter if I profess Christ as my Lord and Savior. We are one. He doesn't put any type of respect on my nationality or my ethnicity. It's I am one in him with all of everybody. So that's the problem. My problem is we're too divided with ourselves that one, we're divided in our thinking. So we're focusing on this over here, but we're neglecting to see this over here. My thing is this. If we are so I believe the Holy Spirit gives strategy. Mm-hmm. All right? Strategy for all things. We don't have to particularly focus on this movement over here or this thing over here. If we pray, Lord, what is your will? What is your will?
Yep.
And how can I push your will forward in the society? He is going to give you a strategy that is going to connect all these dots together to pinpoint this one thing. I guarantee it. He's not going to give you a strategy for this and not give you a strategy for that. He's going to give you a strategy for all this. What is it? What our purpose is to what? Push the kingdom forward. Advance the kingdom. What does that look like?
What is the kingdom?
Preach the gospel.
What is the kingdom? God's rule, God's domain, God's law.
Profess the gospel. Seek ye first
the kingdom
of God, and everything else will be added. We keep our eyes on him. All this stuff right here, he gonna take care of it. And he's gonna give us strategy to be able to take care of it.
I knew he was gonna take a whole episode.
It's all good, dog. It's all good.
I told him we were gonna do it.
We did. It's all right though.
So parent, children, stay in child's place. Mm-hmm. And we're gonna get this thing moving forward. Promise y'all.
One last thing. The intent is to point out how important it is to be strategic and intentional in parenting. Raising passionate Jesus followers and even good citizens takes intentionality. Parents need to know what kind of adults they want to produce and then do their best to raise their children with that end in mind.
That's good. Nothing else left to say after that.
Nothing else.
So with that, y'all let us know what y'all think about what we think. Mm-hmm. hit us up in the comments down there. Y'all will probably see some clips.
You will.
Let us know what y'all think. This is another episode of High Definition Podcast. I'm Maurice.
And I'm Terez.
Y'all remember to live life
from the highest definition.
And we're going to catch y'all in the next episode.